Hi everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be learning how to make a built-up collar neckline. In this video I'll be explaining to you how you can make other styles of built-up collar neckline. I'm going to be explaining to you how I could achieve this using freehand method, no pattern drafting involved.
I will also be sharing tricks on how you can iron your built-up collar neckline to avoid a rough surface area.
If you're an old subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing and trusting in me. If you're a new subscriber, you are welcome to my channel. Do not forget to hit the bell button so that you get notified when I upload something. If at the end of the video you got value, do not forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment of what you think in the comment section about the video. This is the back part. I'll be cutting the back part first. So now you're going to determine the height of your collar, but whatever it is, I'll just say that you measure up 3 inches from the top. So now from this my startup line, I'm going to measure 3 inches like this.
This 3 inches is not a constant, it is just your desired built-up collar's height. So just ensure that it is high enough to be equal to your desired built-up collar's height plus 0.5 inches.
So I'll just go ahead to mark this straight up like this. So now after I have done this, all my measurements will be starting from this part now. Coming to this part, I'm going to measure basic neck width is 3 inches. Now remember, this is the back part. If you are adding a zipper to yours, do not forget to add your zipper allowance before you start all your measurements after your zipper allowance. So now I'm going to mark 3 inches as the width, and I'm just going to mark 3 inches as the depth. I'm going to be telling you the essence of these 3 inches I marked here later on.
Now, because I'm making a cut together sleeve, I'll go ahead to slant the shoulder by 1.5 inches. But just in case you are making a normal shoulder, all you have to do is to measure your shoulder measurement. So after I have slanted my shoulder by 1.5, so I'll be marking my waist shoulder measurement on my slanted line like this.
I'm going to extend this your 3 inches line. I'm going to determine how high you want this neckline to be. That height for this is 2 inches. And at this 2 inches line, you are going to be tightening the neck by 0.5 inch so that it does not stay too gapped at that point.
We are going to slant it to your 0.5 mark like this.
And from here, you are going to be making a curve. It's not expected to be this straight. Just make sure that it is a bit curvy from that point. So now I'm just going to clean out this other line that we tighten it by. Now you are going to get the midpoint of your shoulder measurement. Remember, from this point to this point is a real shoulder measurement. So I'm going to measure the total of what I have here, and what I have here is 5 inches. The midpoint of 5 inches is like a half of 5 inches, and that is 2.5. So I'm going to be connecting this 2.5 to the neckline like this, and to do that you don't need to connect it just straight. I'm going to come up here by 0.5 inches, and you are going to make a curve like this. That 0.5 inches would be a guide. It's not supposed to be too hollow or too sharp at that point, so just blend it into the neck like this. Okay, so this is all for the back part. So before I'm going to cut this out, I'm going to be adding my sewing allowance of 0.5 inches to it like this.
So I'll cut it out following my 0.5 inch sewing allowance I've added.
So this is what the back is going to be looking like. So now I'm going to take the front piece, place it on fold, and I'll place the back piece on it. This is the front. I've already pinned it up, so I'll follow the shape of the front like this, and I'll stop at the neck. So I'll just mark it off at the height here like this. Now for this front part, remember this 3 by 3 neckline that we marked? I'm just going to indicate it on my front part like this, the 3. So now I'm going to pull this up like this. This is a 3 by 3 neckline. Kindly take note that the curve is not supposed to be like this. The curve is expected to go into the neck height like this.
Now stopping at the 3 by 3 neck depth at the front will give quite a high built-up collar neck at the front. So if you want something moderate, I'll advise you go 1 inch below your 3 by 3 neckline point. Alright, I'm going to be cutting this out for the front neckline. So when you are done with this, you are going to be determining if you want the front neckline to be pointed or curved. If you want it to be curved, you are going to curve it into your neckline like this. Now we are going to be cutting the front neck design. Kindly note that if you do not put zipper on this, the front neck depth should be deep so that your head can easily pass. So for what I took for the front part, I took 0.5 inches for the opening. Now I'm going to stop at this point before I'll go ahead to connect it with my scissors straight down to my bust point, which is serving as my neck depth. Kindly note that I'm doing this for the front part only.
And I will not be getting to my finish point. I stopped 1 inches away. So I went ahead to place my leftover fabric on fold like this, and I'll be cutting the lining for the front neckline first before the back neckline. And the lining should start from the top here and exceed your actual neck depth by 3 inches. This is where my lining should stop. I'll just take out a bit of the neck. I'll not be taking it out fully.
I'll be showing you how to work with that later on in the video. So I'm going to take out the length like this. I'm going to shape the side. Please ensure that the width is like 3 inches along the shoulder line. Going to the back part, I'll place my fabric on fold, place the back pattern on it, and I'm going to shape it out on the neckline and on the shoulder. Now the height of your lining should be your neckline height plus extra 3 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead to cut it out like this for the back part.
I've already gone ahead to iron paper stay on my lining, and now for the paper stay I actually use 3 layers of paper stay so that I can get something thick. There is 1, 2, and the third one for the lining. And for the main fabric I used just a single piece, and it did not even extend up to the down for the main fabric. So I went ahead to sew the top of the neckline, notch it over, and I'm going to iron it down like this. Now coming to the front part, I also went ahead to iron paper stay on the lining. This is the lining of the front part. You can see the essence of me not cutting the lining down like this. So I iron paper stay a single piece on the whole body of the main lining. Then coming to the neck part, I make sure that I have 3 layers on the neck part, and you can see the difference from where it started and where it stopped. So I've gone ahead to sew it, and I'm going to notch it on the neckline like this. So for the front part, I also went ahead to iron paper stay on it like this. Now the paper stay is not supposed to be everywhere on the main fabric, so I just ironed it on the needed side on the neckline, just down like this, and it came down 2 inches after the neck depth. So I went ahead to sew it down like this, and you can see I actually exceeded my cut out neckline by this 0.5. Going to the center part that exceeded the front neckline, you are going to notch it straight up like this and stop at the very tip, but be very careful not to break the stitch thread there. I'll go ahead to notch this like this.
Now, before you proceed, ensure you add your hemming gum to the neckline. Now, this hemming gum you're adding is not all over the neckline, just at the top part of the neckline. And to get a very smooth press when ironing your hemming gum, sprinkle water on it to give it a very smooth press. Like I said, the hemming gum should not exceed your collar height. It should not be all over the neckline. Now I had to top stitch this because there was no light effect when I was making this. So do well to use hemming gum on yours and not top stitching it.
So now I'm going to take the back part. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to make it curve like this, making sure that it stops exactly where this one stops there.
Now before you proceed into joining the shoulder, ensure you must have overlocked the lining or giving it a tiny fold for both the front and the back lining.
I'm going to take this, make sure that the right side is facing the right side, and I'm going to place this neck part. You're going to leave the lining aside, place the neckline, ensuring that the both of them meet evenly like this. After it has met, you just pin it up at this point. So now I'm going to sew this up from this part. I'm going to sew it, leaving the lining out of it. I'm going to sew it straight down. So I've just gone ahead to sew it straight down, taking in my sewing allowance that I added. And I'm going to unpin this, and I'm going to flip the lining over to the right side. This is the lining on the back side. I'll flip it over to the right side, turning my stitch allowance over to the right side as well, and I'm going to sew it following my first stitch line. I'll sew it straight down. This is what I've done, so I'll just go ahead to notch it at this point like this, and I've also done the same thing for the second side as well. So turning it over to the right side now, you're going to see the effect of what we just did. It's going to give it a neat finishing like this. So here, just ensure I iron it up so that you'll not be having something like this when you are done joining it. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. You can see that the neck is not overly wide. Now, like I said, if you do not want it to be sharp here, like you want it to come in like this, it is up to you to curve it into your neckline when you are drafting, but ensure that whatever you are curving in does not affect the height, so that you will not be having a problem when joining it of one being longer or shorter than the other. This point should be the same. If you intend to blend it in like this, it is your choice.